What's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy, Warren Watches Wrestling, back at you with Saturday night's main event review on, July 18th review of Saturday night's main event, 2 weeks before SummerSlam. And I can say happily that this was a good show. This was a good show. I think it exceeded expectations. I know a lot of people went into the show not really expecting much. The card wasn't the greatest. A lot of people are saying it's a show that you can miss. I can sit here and say that I watched and it was a good show. It was a fun show to watch. I'm glad that I did sit here and spend the time watching it. So overall, I would say it was overall a good show. We'll start things off. We'll go through match by match, talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, which honestly wasn't much, and then we will break down to see where we see things moving forward and what we see them doing with each character moving forward. I think overall this did help build towards SummerSlam. So let's get right into it. Starting with the first and foremost, we start with the crowd. The crowd I think was great. To no surprise, it's Madison Square Garden. They're in there. They had Jalen Brunson. They had Cat out there. You know, the city's buzzing. They got the FIFA Championship tomorrow going on, or I guess today when this video comes out going on. So a hype town right now, and they were loud for every match, begin to end. You The worry was I didn't think they were gonna be loud for Lyra and Bailey, but they absolutely were. The Madison Square Garden crowd was great. To really no surprise, I think they kind of made this card feel extra special. I actually think the setup of this event was really nice as well. So definitely was a good start to the show. And let's just get right into match one. And that, of course, is the girls of Fatal Influence taking on Brie Bella and Paige. And I am happy to sit here and say that the girls of Fatal Influence did get this win. The match was okay. It was all right. I was nervous, honestly, going into this match. I think a lot of people were thinking what I was thinking. Fatal Influence should win this match. Like, there's really not that hard of a choice to make here. They should just be the champions. They came on with so much heat. They are really good. I will say Laney and Fallon are both great in ring. I think they're both gems. They're going to be great tag champions. Be the little Weasley heel champions. We did see JC get involved like 3 or 4 times in this match. Overall, towards the end there, they did get my blood pressure high when they did that spot where she was trying to do the roll up, but Fallon was holding on. Brie came in, did the little cannonball, and then when Paige rolled her up, I really thought that was going to be it. But JC did come up. They got that little flip around roll at the end, and they end up getting the win there with Laney pinning Paige. So I'm hoping the fact that Paige got pinned moving forward, we can have Nikki and Brie come back because Brie didn't technically get pinned. So they can kind of, I don't know if they want to turn the Bellas heel or if they want to turn Paige heel, but have someone kick the other one out. Put the Bella twins back together, have Paige get back on herself so she can go on her singles run, I think is the plan moving forward for them. For Fatal Influence, I think the plan is very simple. Let them hold the titles. I really would love to see a title get put on JC Jane. Like I said, I'm big on Fatal Influence. I think they have it. They're great in ring. Their character work is great, and this was going to determine how I thought the rest of the show was going to go. If they lost this match, it was going to suck the air out of the building, and I do think that the fact that they let them win was the right decision. I think the match was pretty solid itself. Crowd was hot for it, so this was a great start to the show. And of course, next we had good old Danhausen taking on JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio in a no disqualification match. Honestly, I don't want to say I didn't like the match. I just thought the match was kind of boring. JD didn't really get to do much, like opposed to what he actually can do in the ring. It was just kind of him just being a bully, beating up Danhausen, Dominic hopping in, and then once Dominic really got involved, you're like, okay, when are we gonna get to the big reveal of what the cat is? And the mini houses, as you see, they came to get a table. 3 mini houses came out. They start to beat up the mini houses, and then that's when Danhausen ran away. He put the cat in the machine, and as you can see here, the cat was Big Purr himself, Carl Anthony Towns. For non-basketball fans, Carl Anthony Towns nickname Cat. KAT. You can put two and two together. So that was the big cat that they did. He's a New York Knick, center for the team, one of their probably their second best player, second or third best player. You can debate it, but he's one of their best players. And as you can see, he's a massive guy. But cat comes down. You are cursed. Choke slam to JD. Choke slam down through the table, and Danhausen hit the triple D, which is just a reverse DDT. for the win. Like I said, this match was fine. Obviously, bringing out Cat had the crowd hype because he's a New York Knick and it's Danhausen, so the crowd loves Danhausen. Um, Honestly, I mean, it's not to be rude, it's a very, very skippable match. I mean, I would never go back and watch it again. It was fine. I mean, it didn't do nothing for me. I think this was kind of the lower point of the show. It just was kind of forced. It wasn't really that great. And I expect more slapstick from it, honestly. But moving on from this, I don't know what the plan is for Danhausen, who he's going to feud with next. I know he still has The Miz and Kit Wilson there. What's the plan with them? I would love to see. I don't know. We really did cool off Kit Wilson with this whole thing. Because there was a point in time, Kit Wilson with his Kit Wilson was very over. But Danhausen's just going to continue to be Danhausen. For Dom and JD, I think let them move on. Hopefully, this is the end of the curse for them. I don't know how they're going to get by the curse or how that works, if it just goes away over time. But hopefully, they can move on to different things. Let JD become a wrestler on his own. Let Dom become a wrestler on his own. And Danhausen can go do something else. But this match, oh no, I think is very skippable. This match, on the other hand, this match was a banger. Happy to say this match cooked. And I mean, to really surprise nobody, it's Lyra Valkyria as Bayley. But very early on in this match, it was just a normal spot. Lyra was on the ring apron. Bayley came in just for a punch. But it looks like she came in, she clocked her with like a forearm elbow right to the nose. I don't know if she broke her nose, but her nose, she was gushing immediately. Like, once Bayley hit the suplex outside, there was so much just blood drops all over the floor. You kind of see on Bayley's face, like, oh shit, like I really just clocked her. And they had to check in on her to make sure that she was fine. I do think it actually helped Lyra's character, the fact that she did get the bloody nose, because it kind of makes her look like she's more of a villain now. It makes her look more and more crazy. So I do think that actually kind of helps her in that aspect. As long as she's fine, the match banged. These two were laying it in. They were really smacking, hitting each other hard. There was a spot where Lyra did a top rope leg drop, and she hit the back of Bayley's neck. Like, she came right down on her neck. All in all, I think this was a very fun, very good match. The crowd was into it the whole time. I think the right person won. Lyra did end up, in the end, getting the win. Towards the end, they did a good back and forth. Lyra did a little toss over the back, rolled it into a choke, a reverse choke, and she really had that choke locked in. It looked like a vicious choke, like she was actually choking her out. And she won with tap out, not no Nightwing. Nothing like that. She just won via tap out, or not tap out. She won via submission just because Bayley passed out. So I guess the new heel Lyra, I think with the way that she does wrestle, she is a technician in the ring. She can absolutely be a submission specialist. I think Lyra's great. Hopefully this does build her for the future. Also forgot to mention, she does have a new theme. Her attire wasn't really completely different. I mean, the jacket she wore to the ring wasn't as flamboyant as usual. It was more, dark and not as vibrant as usual with the wings, but her gear was mostly the same. I think it's just really locking on the no makeup look, which is fine or whatever it is. But I did like her presentation. The new theme song I actually do like. It's really just her song, kind of slowed down a little bit more with deeper tone to it. But I do like the presentation they have for Lyra. It was good, and of course these two delivered in the ring as to be expected. Lyra winning, I think, is the right decision as well. Lyra moving forward, I don't know if they're going to move her into that mid-card scene. At this point, she could go after the Intercontinental Championship. I wouldn't mind seeing her beat Soul and getting the title at SummerSlam. I would definitely not mind that at all. I hope that's what her plan is for her. For Bayley, on the other hand, I'm a little nervous for what they're actually going to do with Bayley. Because once the match was over, we seen Bayley or Lyra swipe Bayley out of the ring, kick her out of the ring. And then she goes out, continues to choke her out, and then she hits her Nightwing on the steel steps. There's been a lot of talk about Bayley leaving the company and the way that they are lowballing all their, stars. I think Bayley's someone that they would look at as just not signing. They're probably going to lowball her, and she's probably going to leave because she can go get money elsewhere. And as it's very well known, one of her better friends is, Mercedes Moné over in AEW, so I'm sure she would love to have her back in AEW with each other. So I don't know if that was their way of writing Bayley off, but I really do think that was the plan there. Have Lyra beat Bayley, attack her after the match, so this way we won't see Bayley no more, and that's the reason why. But all in all, this is a match that I think this was the match of the night. So if you have time to watch any match, I would go ahead and watch this match. Then it was time for the main event match, not the main event scene, which kind of worried me. The fact that this wasn't on last, that Roman and Jalen Brunson were coming on last, made me a little nervous. But this being the last match of the night, obviously we had CM Punk and Cody Rhodes taking on Gunther and Sammy in what was a pretty solid match. It was very fast paced. I could tell when Cody hit the Cody Cutter and then the top rope Cody Cutter within like 6 minutes into the match. And then we had CM Punk run through all of his offense. We had Sammy run through all of his offense. Gunther do all of his moves. They were really running at a quick pace through this match. Like, they were trying to get things in, it looked like. And towards the end there, we had everyone fighting, everyone hitting their finishers, and then they go to break up a pin, and Charles Robinson goes down. Now, on the breakup of this pin, Charles Robinson was barely touched. But, Charles Robinson being Charles Robinson gets barely bumped by anyone. He falls down. He's out. He's down for the count. He's outside the ring laying around, and we knew shenanigans were coming. Now, we've seen a little bit back and forth. Of course, we've seen the will they coexist with Cody not being on the apron, Gunther pushing Punk into Cody, and then Cody comes in the ring. They're double teaming Gunther. He goes for, I guess, a jump kick off the rope. Forget the name of it. It's not coming to me, but like a Cody kick off the rope, and he just dives right into CM Punk because Gunther moves. And then we see Gunther kind of get the upper hand. He knocks Cody down, goes outside the ring, grabs the championship belt, looking like they're going to do the heel way to win. Comes in, smacks Cody over the face with the championship, hits him with a power bomb. And as he looks like he's going to pick up the victory, referee's running down to make the 3 count. And who else but Nick Aldis to pull the referee out of the ring. Granted, this wasn't hidden the best. Like, you could literally see, one, the ref came in, and instead of counting normal, he had to slide with his feet out of the ring this way. And as they kind of showed him lining himself up outside the ring, we see Nick Aldis sitting there waiting to make the pull for the referee. It's just a minor thing. Obviously, he's just nitpicking, but I'm glad that they did that. So Nick Aldis pulls him out. Then he's looking at Gunther like, yep, that was me. Gunther's like, what the hell? So Nick Aldis picks up the belt, cracks him on the head, falls into it, and then we see Punk come in, hit a GTS, throw Cody on top of Gunther. Punk and Cody win, setting up their one-on-one match at SummerSlam, but also setting up Nick Aldis and Gunther. I was very glad to see that they did pull the trigger here on Nick Aldis and Gunther. Obviously, this is the plan moving forward. That should be the match, and now it's looking like it will be the match. So I'm looking forward to that. I've been told that Nick Aldis can go. I've never seen a Nick Aldis match. From everything I hear, everyone says he can go in the ring. He can really hoop. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do in the ring. Cody Punk sets them up perfectly. We did see a little bit of interaction with them after the match. Punk goes to throw his title on, and he smacks Cody in the face with it. And you see Cody like, what the hell? Like, that was on purpose. Just seen on social media before I hopped on to make this video, there was a little back and forth between them two. Cody came up to approach Punk and say, hey, what the hell was that about? And they're trying to make it seem like this wasn't recorded, but clearly it was meant to be recorded. And they're like, don't need the cameras for this. So that's going to start the heat. They were very buddy-buddy. So that's going to help start the heat between them two. So going into SmackDown, they will have a heated promo, I think, this week on SmackDown. For Sammy, I'm not sure what the plans are for Sammy at all, but I'm not sure what they're going to do with Sammy, especially for SummerSlam right around the corner. I don't think they add him to the match because it just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm nervous for what I think Sammy's going to miss this, but that also will be good for his character because he can also crash out for the fact that he wasn't putting on SummerSlam for bigger stars that get handed opportunities and everything of that nature. But all in all, this was a good match. I do like the ending. I'm glad that they did finally pull the trigger on Nick Aldis. So far, this has been a really good show. And then last but not least, we got the main event segment with Jalen Brunson and Roman Reigns. This segment was just a whole lot of nothing, in my opinion. I'm a basketball fan, as you can probably tell by the background. I got jerseys in my room. I played basketball my whole life. I coach basketball. I'm very much into basketball. I love basketball. But the intro for Jalen Brunson was a good, 7, 8 minutes. Like, they were really building him up. Granted, he deserves it. He did just bring a championship to New York for the first time in over 50 years. He deserved all that credit. He was soaking the moment in. Roman meets up with him. Roman walks the ring. That's going to be another 5 minutes right there. So between that 12 minutes that we spent walking to the ring between those two, promo was a whole lot of nothing. It was just a whole lot of glazing. Roman saying how great Jalen Brunson is, how great he is, how great New York is, getting all the cheap pops. And that's all that was. And then we see Roman say, I got a prize for you or whatever it is. So he gives Jalen Brunson his own title belt, a New York Knicks title championship for Jalen Brunson. He's like, now it's time that you guys can acknowledge us. I think we all know we were going to hear Burn It Down coming up real soon. So as they're doing the acknowledge, put the fingers up in the air, burn it down. Here comes Seth. But it's not Seth. And this is where I don't know how to feel about this, because Tyrese Halliburton comes out. Once again, I like Brunson, I like Halliburton. But Halliburton comes out instead of Seth, and he comes out with a steel chair walking down to the ring. For those of you guys that don't know basketball, Brunson and Halliburton, they face each other in the conference final the year, not this last year, but the year prior, and Halliburton won. He sent them home, did the whole choke and single to the Knicks. He beat them, knocked them out of the playoffs. So they have a rivalry from that, so he's pretty much hated in New York, so he's the heel here, which makes sense. But they were doing such a good job with just it being Roman and Seth. Just Roman and Seth for all the sake, with no bloodline involved, no one else involved. These two have all this history. We don't need no one else getting involved. But obviously, Halliburton's walking down to the ring, so Seth attacks Roman from the back. Surprise attack, starts beating him up. And this is where it is awkward, because having two basketball players, I'm sure the stars of their team, they probably signed something saying no contact. You guys are not allowed to get hit. No bumps, no nothing taken. So you just see Seth kind of beating up Roman, and Jalen Brunson kind of just standing there watching, which it just kind of looks awkward, because he's just standing there watching him get beat up. And then as Seth is lined up for the stomp, Jalen Brunson steps in, saying, like, this is my town. This is my home. And then as he's standing there, Roman Reigns gets up, Superman punch, spear, Seth. And then once again, as you see all this going on, Roman lining up the spear, you're like, Halliburton, you literally had a steel chair hit somebody, but obviously they're not going to get involved. Spear to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins rolls out of the ring. These two celebrate. They bring in the NBA championship, Larry O'Brien trophy. Roman holds up the O'Brien. Brunson holds up the World Heavyweight Championship. And that's how the show goes off air. Now, this was, like I said, kind of 25 minutes of nothing just to get Jalen Brunson on the show, in my opinion, to get Jalen and Roman on the show to kind of sell tickets. That's all this was. But all in all, it was fine. It was a whole lot of nothing. Very skippable, I think this was. You can miss this. And I really hope you can miss this, because I really, as much as I like Brunson and Halliburton, we do not need them on Monday night. Leave that for the cheap pop for New York fans, for the Madison Square Garden fans. But moving forward, when we get to Monday Night Raw, we don't need any more outside interference. Continue this just to be Roman and Seth. We don't need no one else involved. I don't need to see these guys at SummerSlam. Keep it very, very simple. But yeah, that's my review of Saturday Night Main Event for July 18th. What you might not know right now is it is 3:42 in the morning when I'm making this video. Like I said, I'm new to this content creation thing. So I watched this show fully through after I got off my game, and I wanted to upload video. I wanted to upload reaction clips. So I do have a Instagram page, Warren the Wrestling Fan, on my Instagram page as well. Uploaded all my reactions to there. So I was trying to upload the reactions, and I would do this afterwards. Did not realize how long this takes. So for all the content creators out there, God bless you, because this is a lot of work that goes into this. You can hear it in my voice. I'm already starting to lose it. But I am committed to this. We're going to stick with it. And hopefully we're going to build a community that is worth all the hard work. But anyway, Saturday Night Main Event, I'll give it a thumbs up. I'll give it about a 3.5, 4 out of 5 stars. I think it did exceed expectations for what it was. I think it was a fun show. It's definitely a show that I do enjoy, and I'm glad that I watched. I'm glad I didn't skip it. So, with all that being said, stay beautiful, world.